2024 has been the year that woke died on every level, and they're rattled over at Ubisoft over the failure of Star Wars Outlaws, over the upcoming failure, which we know is happening, of Assassin's Creed Shadows, what happened over at BioWare with Dragon Age the Veilguard. These AAA games that they infused DEI into are just failing on every single level, and they don't like the fact that Steam actually pushes its player counts, because what's happening is we're writing articles about it, and it's getting out to the general gaming population. And then Ubisoft had to explain that to investors because these are coming up on the search results when they're looking up what's happening with the games financially, and they don't have an answer because they want to control everything. Now, I actually had an Ubisoft insider that came to me this morning to talk to me about this, and I gave this to my editor-in-chief over here at Fandom Pulse, John Trent. And John Trent wrote a beautiful article. Now, we are doing the gaming journalism that is rattling these companies. YouTubers use a lot of our articles, guys. John F. Trent started bounding into comics several years ago, and they started censoring him over him wanting to, of course, push based content and not have to, couch things for the normies out there. And so, he left. And so he joined us, guys, because he wants to do real journalism without any fear from corporate. And so we've got it here on Fandom Pulse. It's on Substack. We don't have an advertising model. We are completely funded by gamers like you. So please come in, join us, subscribe today, grab a paid subscription, and support us. We need your help to do this full time, and it's it. You guys are the ones who are the front lines here who are helping us. And the reason we get these insider scoops is because we are so effective here. So thank you guys so much for the support so far. Our first month's been incredible, but we need to push a lot more on the paid subscribers in order to keep this sustainable. And I just urge you to do so right now. It's in the description below. Thank you so much as we get into this. And do hit the likes and subscribe button if you're new here. We're talking about all things gaming and of course, everything in the pop culture. We are saving the culture here. This is your first stop, and I appreciate everybody who's joined our community so far. You're amazing. Thank you for being here. And let's get into the news. So, as I said, I had an insider approach me this morning about the company wanting Steam to remove the concurrent player counts to hide its failures. So, an Ubisoft insider alleges the company is not happy with Valve and Steam for revealing concurrent player counts in its various games, including Star Wars Outlaws. They've informed Fandom Pulse that the company does not like the fact that gamers, the press, and investors can easily view the performance of their various games on Steam through concurrent player trackers. This is a big deal, guys. They told us Ubisoft and other companies want to pressure Steam to stop the Stream tracker from giving out the information they want to keep from themselves. He added, they want to be able to present findings to investors so they can make it sound good. So when there is public information, when you can go out there and you can see that Star Wars Outlaws died on the vine when it hit Steam this last week, and it really did. We did a video on it last week. Unbelievably low player counts for this big AAA game. At that point, you have a problem, because we can say, oh my gosh, nobody's playing this game. And investors have to answer for why the sales are low, what's going on. They can't just spin it as easily when that information's out there, and we get to write it up and actually show what the truth is about how bad these games are performing. You know that they're hiding their sales count numbers too. Every single time one of these games sells very, very well, you see them post on their social medias. You see EA talking about the Dragon Ball game, for example, and how it hit 1 million sales. But for some reason, Dragon Age the Veilguard didn't get a post like that. I wonder why. Because it probably has not even hit 1 million sales yet. That's the crazy part. Somebody said inside the company that it has, but still, it needs to hit 10 million in order to be successful. That's what somebody from inside Ubisoft told us, actually mentioned on an investor call before, and actually said this. I mean, these people are panicking, absolutely panicking at what's happening, because there's a couple things happening this year that are very, very big. Gamers are rejecting this. Our media outlets here and other YouTubers that are wonderful are getting this information out there. And of course, as information gets out there, the sales become even less, because they can't just use media apparatuses as their sort of mouthpieces anymore. PC Gamer and IGN. They can't just say, oh, this is the best game ever, 9 out of 10, and have anybody believe it anymore, because there's real truth out there that can counter the message. This has never happened before in gaming history. These legacy media companies are losing their power at a rapid clip because they've been lying for so long, and they've gotten exposed this year. And so gamers are looking for real information elsewhere, like Fandom Pulse, this channel, Yellow Flash, of course, Hypnotic, Smash JT, Vera Dark are doing great work in the culture too. Grums on Twitter. They can get their information elsewhere now. And it's really rattled these people so much. And that's the thing. They want to stop the information flow. Now, when a company wants to get less transparent, that they're doing something wrong and they know they're doing something wrong, they don't want to change it. They don't want to change the behaviors that are causing these games to fail. What they want to do is change the information that the gamers can get in hopes they can just manipulate you. They're going to double down. And that's the insane part about this entire thing. This here, with this insider telling me this, is a company literally just telling on itself that it's terrible. Now, of course, this is why the insiders at these companies have to remain anonymous, because if these people get caught talking to me, they can lose their jobs, because they do want to keep this information private. Now, I've heard from other Ubisoft insiders before that the company's absolutely scrambling, and they have been for a while, because they know Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to fail in the wake of the Star Wars Outlaws failure. And that's why it was moved and delayed to February 14th next year. I'm hearing it's going to get delayed much later than that. They were talking about completely revamping the game. They don't have the resources to do so because they've already spent so much on this. And something that another industry insider told me, gosh, I've got a bunch of them at this point, I appreciate you guys for being there, is that a lot of these companies take loans on advances of their future earnings. So when they have an Assassin's Creed thing, they show, hey, look, the last Assassin's Creed sold 10, 20 million copies. Give us a giant loan so we can produce this next Assassin's Creed. And then those loans come due for the production of the game, so they're actually forced to rush these out. That's why you get such buggy games from these AAA games at the beginning a lot of the time, because they have to repay their loans immediately, and that's a terrible situation. Don't go into debt, obviously, but that's where we're at right here. On top of this, the insider shared that Ubisoft's most recent release, Star Wars Outlaws, has still not hit 2 million unit sold mark, despite it being on the market for nearly 3 months. That's actually a big deal. So we knew this. We knew that the sales were soft on this level, and so it's been reported here to me, and that's a big deal. So it was reported at the end of September by Insider Gaming that the game had only sold over 1 million copies in its first month. We have secured current sales figures from source close to the game. At the time of this writing, Star Wars Outlaws has ticked over 1 million sales worldwide. Now, again, it's not hit 2 million after the Steam release and everything, and when it's available on a wider platform. We saw that less than 1,000 people were playing it upon its release, and this is where it gets crazy. Investors initially hoped the game would sell at least 5 million in its first month, and apparently they need 10 million to break even. This is what they said in their investors call. When I look at the guidance for Q2, I can assume something similar for the back catalog in Q2 as Q1, getting 230 million euros, that sort of range. For a new release for Star Wars Outlaws, when I look at the $70 price, and then assuming what you might get for it, I am getting to around 5 million units, something in that sort of bracket. First of all, where could I be going wrong with that thinking? Second, are you just being pretty conservative in your guidance? Because I guess given the interest in that game, we might have thought it would be more than 5 million units. Oof. And they admitted the game underperformed sales expectations because of this. Now, all of this is because at the front line, guys, Steam reports what the actual sales are, okay? And so you can see the player counts and you can see them on the charts and you can go, this isn't going well. Now, once that gets reported, you start to get insider information trickling in. This is the thing companies want to stop. They want to keep things quiet. They want to be non-transparent because they want to hide their bad doings from their investors, because at the end of the day, the investors will go, well, why didn't this sell? And we know why. You put a Karen in space in a Han Solo position. Well, that's the woke agenda. Dragon Age, it's the woke agenda. Every single time, nobody wants to play it because it's not fun. It's terrible. And so they're going to have to reevaluate things, and they have to cut all their big social programs that are costing these companies millions. And they don't want to do it because they're more about that than making video games. That's the truth of the matter. And all you have to do, my friends, is not buy these games. Now, my insider speculated, this is not coming from the company directly also, that the prior part was what he heard from the company. He speculated that Black Myth Wukong, Pal World, because they're so open, they're so out there, and they give their numbers and they give their development numbers out there, and you can see how big of a success it is directly, that those companies are actually triggering this a lot. Because they want to prevent that from happening too, showing that other studios are doing big things on smaller budgets, because it makes investors go, well, what do you need this kind of money for? And that's the deal. It's all about that back end money. It's all about those loans. They want to keep that going. And they don't care about you gamers. They just want to hide the data. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Do sign up for the Fandom Pulse Substack, guys, and grab a paid membership. Support our efforts. John Trent is doing this full-time for you so that we can get the truth out there in gaming and put pressure on these companies to change the culture. This is your front line. It's only $5 a month. That's like one Starbucks coffee. Grab a paid membership today. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. We'll be back soon.